Origins of Monet Saint Croix. Monet Saint Croix, also known as M, was originally a founding member of Generation X, later involved with various X-Men related teams. Monet Saint Croix, the second-born and most favored child of the wealthy ambassador, Cartier Saint Croix, she was raised along with her siblings in a lavish lifestyle in Monaco, where they each grew accustomed to finer things that money could buy. Like Monet, her three siblings all developed mutant abilities. However, the mutant power of her only brother, Marius, manifested into something like that of a vampire, causing him to feed on the bone marrow of other mutants. With his own mother as his first victim, Marius Saint Croix turned to dark magic and took on the name M-Plate. After an interdimensional expedition birthed a desire to rule, knowing Monet had impressive mutant powers of her own, the deformed and monstrous Marius offered to share his new power with Monet so that they could rule all realities together. Self-involved as any teenager could be, Monet laughed at her brother's hideous new form and his ludicrous offer. Outraged and filled with jealousy of Monet, he trapped her in the red-skinned, mute body named Penance. Her younger twin sisters, Nicole and Claudette, walked into the room to check on the strange noises coming from Monet's room only to find M-Plate and Penance. Being no more than 8 and fearing that their brother killed their sister, the only one who did not treat them like freaks, the twin sisters used their own mutant powers to banish Marius by teleporting him into another dimension. Knowing that only M-Plate could free her, Monet quickly followed him. The twins wanted to spare the father the loss of his favorite child, so they merged with each other and began to impersonate Monet. The twins, or the M-Twins as they were later dubbed, were at some point mentored by the Aboriginal Mutant Gateway before they were taken by the alien Phalanx, along with a number of other mutants. Still posing as their sister, the two young girls continued to perfectly imitate Monet when they joined their fellow captives as founding members of the mutant youth group Generation X. Monet later joined up with X Factor Investigations, a private detective agency run by multiple men in Mutant Town, New York. Monet also recently appeared on the cover of Vanity Fair. M is first seen catching Richter from falling after a evil dupe pushed him off a ledge. She then goes to Madrox and Siren to read the mind of a woman who won't talk. She read the woman mind and tell Madrox she will handle it. She finds the airplane the man who committed the murder and telepathically create a illusion where the man tells the passengers what he did. Team relations become more complicated when a drunken Jamie Madrox creates duplicates that, without him knowing so, sleep with both teammates Siren and M in one night. Both women seem enamored with Jamie following their late-night tryst. However, when Jamie confesses, Monet immediately throws him out of a window. Monet then begins to continually slam Jamie against a wall in order to find the dupe that she slept with, causing frightened clones of Jamie to emerge without a single confession. Without resolve, Siren and M begin to ignore each other, but the young Layla Miller demands that they mend the issues between them. Monet quickly opts to go on a shopping trip to Paris for the two, and they subsequently become close and more comfortable with each other. While the two are in a restaurant, a gang outside attempts to set a building that houses mutants on fire. M and Siren quickly rush to defend the building, but M becomes infuriated when a bullet bounces off of her chest and shatters her Fabergé egg. The scuffle is brought to the attention of the local police, and the two decide to surrender themselves rather than creating a media frenzy with mutants yet again in the wrong. In jail, a man from the earlier riot walks by, bragging about burning the building and the lives he took. M breaks a bar from the cage and throws it at the man, stoically infuriated with his remarks. We soon see that M eventually crucified the man with bars from her cell before she and Siren escape from the prison. Soon after, the pair return to the building, to find a little girl named Nicole sitting on a doorstep. The girl reveals that she is now an orphan due to the fire. This reminds M of her own younger sisters and she immediately grabs Nicole, telling Siren that she is taking her with them back to the United States. With newfound respect for one another, M and Siren decide to team up again after Jamie asks them to attend to a client's job involving a custody battle involving two young twins who sing for the downfall of mutants. The two women go to see one of the children's concerts, and after a couple of jokes, they quickly make their way backstage. Once there, Siren is nearly shot in the head, but the bullet grazes her skull, knocking her unconscious. M begins shouting at the sniper, but is snuck up on and is knocked unconscious when a chloroform-filled rag is placed over her mouth. We next see the two locked up in a cabin with M being chained to the floor, while Siren is gagged and bound to a chair. Their kidnappers are revealed to be Clay and Solo. Solo's suit refracts light, which enabled him to sneak up on Monet. With much effort, M finally breaks free of her chains, and when she knocks down the door of the cabin, Monet and Siren find themselves in the middle of a desert-like place. The two waste little time flying back in order to find the kids, with M simply taking the elevator that they are currently in, along with their parents. M drops off the elevator on top of a rocky stand where a camp has been set up by the children's grandparents. However, it is soon revealed that this was all a ploy by the isolationist to simply keep the two women, especially Monet, away from the team. When the two cannot contact any of their team members, M quickly flies back to their base, and catches the isolationist, about to crush Richter with a car. However, he throws the vehicle at M and quickly leaves the area. During the Messiah complex, M was rarely seen but eventually took part in the final battle on Muir Island. Soon after this event, a generous Monet decided to buy all the women of X Factor iPhones, but when Wolfsbane revealed she was leaving the team, M crushed it, promising her Layla's if Wolfsbane ever comes back. It is ironic to note that while Monet purchased an iPhone for Layla, she seems convinced that the girl will not return. Later she is seen talking to Siren about her pregnancy and suggests an abortion, although Siren dismisses the idea immediately. M also states that she and Siren are now best friends. Considering that Wolfsbane has left, M would be the best thing she's got. After Richter is kidnapped by Arcade, Monet's superhuman hearing is the only thing that is able to help track down X Factor's captured teammate. When she finds him, she's electrocuted with apparently enough electricity to kill 20 grown men, and is knocked out. With her hair the only physical indication of her electrocution, a still rattled Monet confuses her teammates' names with those of other X-Men but still manages to use the head of one of Arcade's robotic henchmen to find the source of its control. Unfortunately, when the team arrives at his hideout, Arcade had already escaped and had set a bomb that upon detonation would cause Mutant Town to implode. Secret invasion. Monet, along with the rest of X Factor, recently did their part against the Skrull invasion of Earth during the Marvel event, Secret Invasion. The team clashed with She-Hulk and her partner Jacinda, who were after a Skrull posing as Longshot unbeknownst to the team. While X Factor tried to protect Longshot, who was accompanied the former X-Man Darwin, Monet and She-Hulk's attitudes clashed and the two physically battled, hurling insults at each other before eventually combining forces. Darwin's powers unwittingly revealed the Skrull's guise and X Factor and She-Hulk took him into custody. After the team allowed Darwin to stay with them, he developed a crush on Monet, which may have stemmed from his adoration of her Vanity Fair spread. Orcus sets their plan in motion to take out mutant kind for good. This included turning public opinion against them using false flag terrorist attacks. Captain America and Rogue decide to put together another Avengers Unity squad to stand against them. This includes former members Deadpool and Quicksilver and new mutant recruits M and Psylocke. They operate out of Ellis Island, using the old Morlock tunnels to travel, with financial aid from Tony Stark and Emma Frost. One such false flag is a mysterious villain using the Captain Croix suit and attacking world leaders with his new Mutant Liberation Front. They have stolen nuclear weapons, putting the whole world on edge. After tracking the MLF to Camp Lehigh, Cap guessed that the new Captain Croix was his Hydra-raised clone, now answering to their middle name, Grant. In addition to the nuke, the clone was gunning for Ben Urich, who had witness testimony against Orcus from a non-mutant, Kingpin. Cap and most of his team went to protect Urich and Kingpin, but Grant had stashed the nuclear warhead at Empire State University. Cap and the others bested Grant and took him into custody, but the warhead was activated. Cap ordered Rogue to get rid of it in orbit, but the ISS was due to pass by New York. Instead, she flew it out to Area 51 to blow it up in the desert, while Quicksilver ran Deadpool to her as fast as he could so she could absorb his healing factor and survive. After stopping the New Mutant Liberation Front, M arrives at the Sword Space Station to assemble as Cyclops' new X-Men team for their assault against Sentinel City. After Psylocke used her Psyblade on Omega Sentinel's mind, her guilt-ridden human mind was severed from her computer brain. M then took custody of her vulnerable body. She also noticed that the hull was deteriorating and warned that continuing to fight in Sentinel City was a trap. After, she rejoined the fight against Nimrod, who had them all on the ropes. Then, Storm finally arrived and used so much lightning on this drone that all the other drones received electric feedback. Nimrod had networked himself into so much of Orcus' services and Sentinels that once he was destroyed, Orcus was completely shut down. Manifold, with the help of Lakshika, was able to teleport everyone back to Earth before the station took them down with it. Heir to Apocalypse. With Croco ended and Araco flourishing, Apocalypse has turned his full attention to the Red Planet. However, he must leave behind an heir to steward the rise of mutant kind on Earth. So, he chooses 12 mutants, including M, who Apocalypse convinced to embrace her savage penance side, to compete in trials to prove their worth. Before the trials could even begin, they are challenged by Son of Apocalypse, Genocide. As Genocide's armor starts to crack from the attacks, the 12 realize the armor wasn't protecting Genocide but containing his bioplasma. M turned into her diamond form and tried to secure the cracks. Exodus took it upon himself to telekinetically compress Genocide into a small dense orb, but M was too close to Genocide and was seemingly compressed along with him. Apocalypse did not wish harm on any of these mutants though, so at the moment of her failure, M was teleported to safety. M was cut out of cryo chamber by Angel with the other mutants. She waited patiently with Angel for the other mutants that failed the trials before using a teleporter to return them to Earth from Araco. Powers and abilities. Monet Saint Croix is a mutant with a wide variety of mutant powers which represent a near-perfect human being. Her powers include superhuman strength enabling her to lift 10 tons, superhuman speed, agility, endurance, reflexes, coordination, and balance, self-propelled flight, nigh invulnerability, night vision and enhanced hearing, an enhanced healing factor and the ability to read minds and perceive mutant auras. Monet also appears to have telekinesis seen in X Factor. Saint Croix also possesses a great degree of intellect, is highly educated, has formidable hand-to-hand combat skills, and is capable of using computers and electronic devices with ease.